Hey Mom, it's September 26th and I'm back at Lake Crescent Lodge. As you know, I was here yesterday afternoon. The sun was out a little bit and I was able to find your special tree. Got to see Dad's handiwork, and this morning I wanted to come back and take you on a little video tour, just show you where that tree is actually located. So the weather hasn't cooperated very well, but it is a temperate rainforest, so this is pretty much what you get. Hope the video's fun and takes you back a few years, back to the year 2000. I'm going to scan around a little bit so you can see the lake. It's not the gorgeous postcard view that you would normally get. There's a lot of clouds, low clouds, and a lot of drizzle too, but that's Lake Crescent up here in the Olympic Mountains. Just one of my favorite places, and I know a place where you and Dad had some great memories. So I'm going to take a walk with the camera, and we're going to walk toward the lodge and then sort of retrace the steps that you and Dad might have taken. I believe it was July the 6th of 2000. Okay? See you in a little bit. Okay. Yep, Seattle sunshine. Now over to the left, these are the Singer Taverns that I know Dad and I stayed in one of these when we were here. I'm not sure which one we were in. I think it was that unit right there. But anyways, one of these, and I guess you and Dad stayed there as well. I think this thing was built back in the early 1900s. Just a beautiful place. And I don't know if you can see, I'm going to lift up the umbrella a little bit, but these Douglas firs and spruce trees are just tremendous. Anyway, we're walking toward the main lodge, Lake Crescent Lodge. So you all would have had breakfast in here, and then probably would have walked down the path toward the lake. Some big trees there. There's a Pacific Madrona, pretty red tree. Beautiful, beautiful lake. I hope this video is good. It's so foggy and misty out here. Conditions are not ideal. This is, I'm sure all these people inside are looking at me out here going, what's this guy doing out in the rain? Must be from Texas. This is a place where that famous picture of our favorite guy would have been taken, right around here somewhere. One of these Adirondack chairs. Anyway, I made him sit down in it and pose for a picture, and it ended up being, I know, my favorite picture of Dad, but I know a lot of other people have liked it too. So we're going to walk down the lakeshore here. Maybe you can hear the rain pelting my umbrella. Yeah, it's a little soggy. So we're just walking along the edge of the lake here, and then we'll come to Barnes Creek up ahead. That comes down out of the Olympic Mountains. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that creek is what eventually runs from Marymere Falls, which I think you all hiked to. Yeah, it's a nice quiet day out here today. There's not going to be too many people getting in my video. There are a few brave souls out there on the pier though, looking out into the lake. They say in Washington State there's no such thing as bad weather, only inadequate wardrobes. That means everybody has to have a little Gore-Tex in their wardrobe. Hope you can see how pretty the lake is, and it's just crystal clear. Just beautiful. There's big trout in there as well. I think they call them Beardsley trout. And I haven't ever been fishing here, but I'd like to do that. Anyway, we're walking along the lake shore here. And you'll start to see some of these trees. I think the white ones are river birch. They're usually real close to the water. So right here is the point. This is the edge of the Lake Crescent property right here, and you can see where Barnes Creek is flowing into the lake. Pretty place. So we're looking upstream, up Barnes Creek, and now we'll walk back a little bit toward the lodge, and you'll start to see some carvings on some of the trees. So yesterday when I started looking, well, let me tell you where I started. I walked down this little path, and I saw this big heart on this tree right here, and I said, wow, this is going to be easy. I'm sure this is the tree. So I see this big M&G, maybe Marion and Gil. And I said, that is just not my dad's style. That's way too flashy. Took up, you know, half the tree. That's just not his style. And then I saw this one here. It looked like an M and a G together. And that's kind of artistic, but it's not precise like I would have thought my dad would have carved his initials. So anyway, I looked all around the tree like this, and I was thinking, you know, what are the odds? You know, it's 11 years ago. The tree has grown, the bark has stretched and split. People have added their names to it, maybe scratched over it. Some of them had theirs scratched out, it looks like. So then I called you for directions, and you said you thought it was a smaller tree. So I started looking around and realized that, okay, this tree has carvings as well. There's a heart. And then I started thinking, you know, this really is going to be the needle in the haystack. That's a raven cawing at me. So anyway, looked over here on this one. Nothing there, but this is right along the edge of the creek. And then I looked over here at this one and I saw some carvings, but I just couldn't imagine Dad getting down on the ground and carving. And then I thought, well, in 11 years it would have been taller than that anyway. So I was trying to use a little bit of reasoning and logic that he might have used. You know, where would I carve my initials if it were me? So anyway, I looked around some more. I remember moving these branches back so I could get a better look at that carving, and that wasn't you. I went over here and looked at this one. Said, okay, this is kind of right on the creek. There's a good possibility. But I knew he wouldn't have written I Love Lydia. So about right here, I just remember saying, come on, Dad, give me a hint. Just a little hint. Give me a little help. And I'm looking, and boom. Right there, that little tree. And there it is. I mean, it's unquestionable. There's GH, loves MM. And even the date, July 6, 2000. Carved, as you might expect, with his standard precision and care. And let's see, I'm holding the camera up at about the 6-foot level. So maybe in 11 years that thing was, I don't know, maybe a foot lower, where it would have been easier to carve. This would be my eye level right now. Anyway, there it is. Right here on the edge of the creek. And if you look up the creek, you just see what a beautiful view that is. Way back in the distance, you can see that first bridge that crosses over the creek. So this would have been the trail that you all took that day to walk up to the falls, Merrimer Falls. And I remember he and I took that same hike the year before, and it was fun to see him see things that he had read about all his life. I remember at one point I had fallen behind because I was taking pictures, and when I caught up with him, he was just standing there, just standing and staring up at the top of these trees. Some of them are 200 feet tall, 250 feet. And when I walked up to him, I said, "Not a bad view, huh?" And he said, "You know, I'd read about these things all my life. I just never dreamt that they would be this big in real life." And it was just fun to see him full of awe and wonder that day. So there's your carving. There's the Gil Marion tree. Right on the edge of Barnes Creek, which flows right down into Lake Crescent, which is right there, just past that little gravel bar. And then here's a view of all the other little trees around here. So it could have been any one of them. I'm really glad that I found the one that is so special to you. And I'm really glad I didn't have to resort to plan B, which was I actually took a picture of every one of these carvings, and my thought was, if I don't find it, I'll just get it back to Dallas, get it on a big computer screen where I can look at the detail, and then try to find yours. But like I said, I asked for a little hint. There it was. Funny how that worked. Anyway, oh look, a little deer's coming over to the edge of the creek here. So, having a little brunch. Let's see if I can zoom. Yeah, it looks like Bambi. Anyway, this is just such a special place, and I will always remember my time here with Dad. And I know you will never forget yours here as well. There it is. So that's it from Lake Crescent. I'm glad we could find your tree, and when I get back to Dallas, I'll print some of those pictures out and frame one up for you. Okay? I love you. I'll finish off with Bambi.